Right, in the previous class, we were discussing about different control statements present in C programming language. We have discussed about control statements, decision making statements like if else, and switch statement. So those are the conditional branching statements. They are also called as conditional branching statements. Depending on some expression, result of some expression, the corresponding set of statements or block of statements will be executed. That is what is uh, about if else and switch. Now we have also discussed about looping statements. So why basically we need loops to execute a block of statements, to execute the block of statements repeatedly until some condition is true. We go for using the looping statements. We have seen the loop called while loop in the previous class. So how the while loop works? A statement, an expression will be evaluated first, and depending on the truth value of the expression, the set of statements present within the while loop will be executed. So this is what happens whenever the expression is true, we will evaluate this block of statements. Whenever this expression is false, whenever this expression is false, we will skip the execution of the while loop and we will continue with the remaining statements. That is what we have seen the flowchart, how actually the functionality of while loop is, and we have also seen one example program to calculate sum of its individual digits. Now let us see another variant of the looping structure, that is do while loop. So do while loop is very similar to while loop. Do while loop is very similar to while loop. In this case, what happens? First, the set of statements will be executed. Then the conditional expression will be checked. If it is true, again the set of statements will be executed. So that's why it is called as do while loop. This do while loop is also used for repetitively executing the statements. The difference between while and do while here is, in while loop the conditional expression is evaluated first. In while loop what we do, we check the expression first, then we execute the set of statements. And if the expression is true, then we execute the set of statements. However, in do while loop what happens? The statements is executed first. First execute the block of statements, then check the condition. First execute the block of statements, then check the condition. If that condition is true, again we'll execute block of the statements. That is how the do while works. And once the expression in the while statement is failing or it is becoming false, we will go with the next statements immediately after that. So that is how the do while works. So this is the general syntax of the do while loop. This is do opening bracket and closing bracket while we have the expression. So in this case, what we do, we first execute this block of statements. First executed. So these statements will be first executed. We're going to first execute those block of statements. Then we check this expression. Then check the expression. That means first do execute all the statements in the do while loop. Then check the expression. If it is true, possibilities are there. If it is true or it is false. If it is true, what we do? We go back again and again execute all the statements in the do while loop. Again, we'll execute all the statements in the do while loop. After executing, once again we check the expression, whether the expression is true or false. If it is true, we will again go back to the beginning of the do while loop and execute all the statements. So this process will be repeated until the expression becomes false. Once the expression is false, we will continue with the remaining statements in the source program. We will continue with the remaining statements in the source program. That is how do while loop works. One difference between while and do while is, in the while loop, we are going to check the condition first, then we execute the statements. In do while loop, first we execute the statements, then we check the condition. And in do while loop, here semicolon is must. That is the syntax of do while loop. You should write semicolon. Writing semicolon is must. If you don't write the semicolon, that is a syntax error, and the compiler will throw an error message after you compile the program. So this is the simple flowchart depicting how the do while loop works. How the do while loop works. That means in the do while loop, first we execute the statements. First you execute all the statements present in the do while loop. After executing at least once, we will go for checking the condition. We will check the condition, or that is expression. We will check the condition or the expression. The expression or condition can be either true or false. If it is true, what we will do? We will go back again and execute all the statements in the do while loop. Again check the condition. If it is true, again go back and execute all the statements in the do while loop. This process of execution will stop only when the condition or expression become false. Then we will continue with the normal execution of the program. That means we will continue with remaining statements in the program. We will continue with the remaining statements in the program. So this is how the do while statement works. This is how the do while statement works. So let us see the same program which we saw in the previous classes. That is finding the sum of digits in a number. So if you can see up to here, the program is same. That is, we declare the required variables, initialize sum to 0, clear the screen, ask user to enter any number. So let us say 12. What we took in the previous class was 12. So if you enter 12, that temp will have the value called 12. The same program which we discussed previously. Now what happens? Earlier the code was something like this. While loop was there, we were having while loop, then those statements were present. But here what happens? These two statements are kept within the do while statement. They will execute at least one. Then we'll check the condition whether temp is not equal to 0. So whether temp is not equal to 0. So till this condition is true or till this expression is true, the body of the while loop will be repeatedly executed. The statements present within the body of the while loop will be executed repeatedly. So that is how the do while works. That is the only difference. So these two statements are same, and this condition is also same, whatever was there in case of while. So first execute these statements, then check the conditions. And once you come out of the do while loop, so whatever the value we had given, if you had given number 12, sum of its integers will be 1 plus 2 equal to 3. So I think the tracing part is very similar to the previous class. I need not explain you this in detail. That is how the calculation part is same. Only thing is the syntax is different. That was while loop and this is do while loop. Now another looping construct here is for loop. So for loop is a very compact form of representing more than one statement. That means it is very much flexible and easy compared to while loop and do while loop. So for loop basically consists of three main components. The first component is initialization statement or initialization component. Second one is conditional expression or checking the condition of the variable, whether it is true or false. And the third one is modifier statement or increment statement or decrement statement. And all are included within a single one line for statement. That means all are included within a single line. And how the execution takes place here is initialization will be done only once. That means for loop consists of three parts. I'll write those here for understanding purpose. Initialization, first part. Initialization is first part. Condition is second part. Then third part is modifier or incrementing. It need not be incrementing. We can also use decrementing. So better thing is we take it as modifier only. Modifier, that means changing the value of the variable, which is controlling the execution of the for loop. So for loop consists of three parts. Expression 1 is nothing but initialization part, expression 2 is nothing but condition checking part, and expression 3 is nothing but modifier part. So how this for loop works here is always the initialization will be done first. First execute the initialization part, then execute the expression 2. That means check the condition whether the condition is true or false. Then third one is execute the statements within the for loop. Then fourth one is check the execute the modifier part. Modifier part may contain incrementing the variable or decrementing the variable. So this is how the for loop works. First thing is initialization statement to work, that is going to contain the initialization of required variable for execution of the for loop. Second one is check the condition whether it is true or false. Because after initializing the variables, you should make sure that they are not exceeding the required condition for execution of the for loop. Condition will be checked. Once this condition, whenever you check, it can have two values, either it is true or false. If it is true, we execute entire body of the for loop. If it is false, we will stop execution of the for loop. Now, if it is true, the entire body of the for loop will be executed as a third step. Then later control will be transferred to the modifier statement or expression 3, in which the variable will be incremented or decremented. After this, once again the expression will be checked. That means conditional expression will be checked. This you can call it as a fifth step. Again repetitively this is going to work. Again check the condition. If the expression is true, execute the whole body of the for loop. After execution, go to modifier statement. Again execute the expression 3. After executing expression 3, again check the condition. If the condition is true, again execute body of the loop. Execute the body of the loop, go for modifier, execute the expression 3, again go to condition, check whether it is true or false. If it is true, execute body of the loop. This process will continue until this is false, until expression 2 is false. Whenever expression 2 is false, we will come out of the execution of the for loop. We will come out of the execution of the for loop. That means execution of the for loop will stop or terminate only when the conditional statement becomes false. Only when the conditional statement becomes false. Right, so that was the basic syntax of for statement, and this is what already I told in the above syntax. Expression 1 is initialization, 2 is conditional expression, and 3 is modifier part. Now this is what is the flow chart which demonstrates how the for loop works. Beginning of the for loop, so what we do, we will perform the initialization part here, and then we check the condition. Whenever you are checking condition, there are two possibilities. Either the condition is true or the condition is false. If the condition is true, what we do, we execute all the statements present within the for loop. Execute all the statements present within the for loop. Go back again, perform incrementing, and again check the condition. If it is true, execute the statements, go back and perform incrementing or modifier statements will be executed, then we will check the condition once again. So this process will repeat until the condition becomes false. Once the condition becomes false, we will continue with the normal execution of the program. That is remaining statements which are immediately following the for loop, Now let us see one program to demonstrate execution of the for loop. That is program number 2.6. So basically what you have to remember here is for loop consists of three parts. Initialization part, condition checking part, and modifier part. Initialization will be done in the beginning. That will be executed only once. First you do initialization, then go for checking condition. If it is true, execute body of the loop. Then go for modifier. After modifier, again you have to check the condition. If it is true, again execute body of the loop. So this process will continue. This is the simple program showing the execution of for loop. Right. Now just concentrate how the for loop works. Integers from 1 to 10. Right. This is the simple for loop, simple program which demonstrates how the for loop works. So required header files are included. Beginning of the main function, this is where the program execution will start, and later we have declared an integer variable called I. So for this integer variable, some memory location is reserved and variable I is being declared. Just simply it clears the screen so that you can provide input in a proper way. Then this is simply a print statement which will print as it is onto the screen. So what it will print? We are just trying to print the integers from 1 to 10. That is, integers from 1 to 10 are being printed. This statement will be printed as it is. Next, this is where the for loop works. So for loop has three expressions. I'll separate this part for explanation purpose. Right. So for loop consists of three parts. So what are the three parts? Initialization. Yes, this is the first part, that is initialization. Then this is the second part, what it says, conditional expression. This is third part, modifier. Third part is modifier. So when you say I equal to 1, I am trying to initialize the variable I with 1. Earlier we have declared a variable I here. Now that will get a value of 1 because we have initialized the variable I to 1. We are starting the initialization because we want to display the numbers from 1 to 10. So I is being initialized with 1. After initialization, check the condition. So what is that condition? This condition I will write it here. I less than or equal to 10. What is value of I? I is 1. 1, is it less than or equal to 10? Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. This is true. So once the condition is true, what happens? The body of the for loop will be executed. Within the body of the for loop, see, even though you write the brackets here, the execution is same. As there is only one statement here in the for loop, we need not use the braces, opening braces and opening brace and closing brace. We do not use the brackets. So brackets are essential only when there are more than one statements. Only when there are more than one statement present in the for loop. Now in this case, what is the only statement present within the for loop? That is print statement. We execute only print. What is that? Just display value of I. So I will replace this format specifier. So what is present in I, output I will write here. So what is present in I, display the value of I, then backslash and what it indicates, take the cursor to the next line. What is present in I will be printed here, then cursor will go back and it will be blinking here in the next line. After the execution of the body of the for loop, how for loop works, again we will go for incrementing. That means modifier statement will be executed. So what is present in modifier statement? In modifier statement, we are just incrementing the value of I. That is perform I plus plus. What is earlier value of I? Earlier value of I is 1. Now I becomes 2 because I have executed the modifier block which is going to increment the value of I. After incrementing, what you have to do? Check the condition. Again, you check the condition whether it is true or false. What is value of I? Value of I is 2. 2, is it less than or equal to 10? 2, is it less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is true. If it is true, what we do? We execute body of the for loop. What is present in body of the for loop? In body of the for loop, we are simply printing the value of I. As cursor is blinking here, value of I will be printed. What is the value present in I? Value present in I is 2. 2 will be printed. After that, again cursor will go to the next line. Why cursor is going to the next line? Because I have included backslash n here. Here we have backslash n. What backslash n indicates? After printing the output, take the cursor to the next line. Take the cursor to the next line. Now I will erase these parts. Now you have understood the flow. What is value of I? After executing body of the loop, body of the for loop, what is the next statement? We have to execute the modifier statement. What is present in modifier statement? We are just incrementing value of I. So increment the value of I. Earlier value of I was 2, now value of I becomes 3. After incrementing, check the condition. Is 3 is less than or equal to 10? What is the value of I? I is 3. Is 3 is less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is true. So when it is true, what we do? We simply display the value of I. That is in the format specifier D, the value of I will be replaced. So what is I? I is 3. 3 will be printed. Again, check the condition. That is execute the modifier part. What the modifier part says? I plus plus. That means I should be incremented down. The new value of I becomes 4. After incrementing, check the condition whether I is less than or equal to 10. Is it true? I is 4. 4 is less than or equal to 10. This means this condition is true. Until this condition is true, we are free to execute body of the loop. That means we are free to execute the statements present within body of the for loop. What it is doing? Simply display the value of I. What is value of I? I will be displayed in the output. This I am writing output. After displaying, again increment the value of I. So now I becomes what? Now I becomes 5. Value of I becomes 5. So once I is 5, we check the condition. Whether 5 is less than or equal to 10, true. Enter into for loop, execute the for loop, display the value of 5. So 5 will be printed. After displaying, after executing body of the for loop, condition will be checked. Modifier statement will be executed. So modifier statement says I plus plus. So new value of I becomes 6. 6 is less than 10, true. Enter and display. Then again increment. So now I becomes what? Now I becomes 7. 7 is less than 10, true. Display. Increment I. I becomes 8. 8 less than or equal to 10, true. Display. 8 is displayed. Again increment. I becomes 9. 9 is less than or equal to 10, true. Display. 9 is displayed. Again increment. I becomes 10. 10 less than or equal to 10, true. Enter. Display. Again increment. I becomes 11. When I becomes 11, we'll check the condition here. What is that condition? 11 less than or equal to 10. This is false for the first time. Condition is false for the first time. We will come out of execution of the for loop and the program execution will terminate. Program execution will terminate. That is how the for loop works. That is how the for loop works. I will simply show you the output. First include the header file, then what we are trying to do, we are trying to display integers from 1 to 10. Then this is what is for loop, right? Then we are simply displaying the value of I. Okay. So this is what is the for loop. Printf semicolon was not written. Right? This is what is the program, and just execute the program. Program is being compiled, and what we expect the output here is we expect output the integers from 1 to 10. We want the integer values to be displayed from 1 to 10. The build is succeed. So what it is displaying? Integers from 1 to 10, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Press any key to continue. Press any key to continue. Right? This is how the for loop works. And if we see the example here, even if you use the brackets, the output will be same. Even if you use the brackets, the output will be same. Instead of displaying each and every integer in different lines, if you want, you can display them onto the same line. That is by specifying the escape sequence in place of \n, I can give \t. What it indicates, once tab space will be given. You can see that difference also. Instead of \n, I have given tab space. Now you can see the output. So how the output is changing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are displayed onto the same line by using the tab space. So different escape sequences can be used for displaying the output in a formatted way. The output in a formatted way. So that was about the loops. That was about the loops in C programming.